Good day to each and everyone. My name is J.R. Chaga, and for today's video, I will discuss the evolution of policies in agrarian reform. So let's start. So what is agrarian reform? Agrarian reform is essentially the rectification of the whole system of agriculture. Agrarian reform is centered on the relationship between the production and the distribution of land among farmers. So let's talk about land ownership in the Philippines under Spain. When the Spaniard colonialized the country, they brought with them a system of pueblo agriculture, where rural communities often dispersed and scattered in nature. Families were not allowed to own their land. The King of Spain owned the land, and the Filipinos were assigned to these lands to cultivate them and to pay their colonial tribute to the Spanish authorities in the front of agricultural products. The encomienda system was an unfair and abusive system, as compras y vendalas became the norm for the Filipino farmers working the land. They were made to sell their products at a very low price or surrender their products to the encomenderos. Next is the land ownership in the Philippines under the Americans. The Americans were aware that the main cause of social unrest in the Philippines is landlessness. The Philippine Bill of 1902 provided the regulations on the disposal of public lands. A private individual may own 16 hectares of land, while corporate landholders may have 1,024 hectares. Land ownership did not improve during American period. In fact, it even worsened because there is no limit to the size handholdings people can possess, and accessibility of possession was limited to those who can afford to buy, register, and acquire fixed property titles. Next is the post-war interventions toward agrarian reform. Rehabilitation and rebuilding after the war was focused on providing solutions to the problems of the past. The administration of President Rojas passed Republic Act No. 34 to establish a 70-30 sharing arrangement between tenant and landlord. Agricultural Credit and Cooperative Financing Administration was also created mainly to provide warehouse facilities and assist farmers in marketing their products. Next is agrarian reform efforts under Marcos. President Marcos declared martial law in 1972, enabling him to essentially wipe out the landlord-dominated Congress. Presidential Decree No. 27, or the Code of Agrarian Reform of the Philippines, became the core of agrarian reform during Marcos regime. Next is post-1986 agrarian reform. The overthrow of Marcos and the 1987 Constitution resulted to a renewed interest and attention to agrarian reform, as President Corazon Aquino envisioned agrarian reform to be the centerpiece of his administration's social legislation. On July 22, 1987, Aquino issued Presidential Proclamation 131 and Executive Order 229, which outlined her land reform program. In 1988, the Congress passed Republic Act No. 6657, or the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law. The last one is CARP and the Future Agrarian Reform in the Philippines. The new deadline of CARP expired in 2008, leaving 1.2 million farmer beneficiaries and 1.6 million hectares of agricultural land to be distributed to farmers. From 2009 to 2014, CARP has distributed a total of 1 million hectares of land and 900,000 farmer beneficiaries. The DAR and DNR are the government agencies mandated to fulfill CARP and CARPER, but even the combined effort and resources of the two agencies have proved incapable of fully achieve the goal agrarian reform in the Philippines. And that would be all. Thank you.